Pro holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. Appreciate all the love that you guys are showing on a regular day-to-day basis. Continue supporting, and you guys got these daily updates that I bring you guys. But as we are going into Tuesday morning, we have the long weekend behind us. We're entering, obviously, Tuesday morning. We're starting to see the market, kind of pushing back towards the upside. But we have seen major amounts of volatility over the last 24 hours within Bitcoin. Bitcoin saw that fake out yesterday, but that was short-lived. But right now, as of recording this update, Bitcoin is sitting at $110,000 plus right now. So obviously, no one is really complaining at that bounce itself, but again, we need to look for more confirmations. As of now, as of recording this update, we are seeing quite a bit of green across the market. As far as Cronos is concerned, it's down about 2.6% over the course of the last 24 hours in USD, down 4.5% in Bitcoin, and about 3% in Ethereum comparative. Price 26.8 cents, valuation 9 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume only at 200 million. We're going to talk about what I think is going on here. I'm going to share my personal thoughts. At the end of the day, this is my own personal opinion. But as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. We need to keep in mind, September 1st, it was a big day for World Liberty Coin. So, which is a DeFi platform, I'm sure you guys know, that is co-founded by Donald Trump, offering crypto lending, borrowing, and interest services targeting unbanked communities. So this coin, I'm sure you guys have heard of WLFI coin, World Liberty coin. It's been in existence since last year, but no one was allowed to trade this. And that changed, of course, when it got listed on all the major exchanges. Binance listed it, OKX, Bybit, KuCoin, and the list goes on and on. So I think liquidity shift is also something that we're seeing. You guys might be like, well, what happened before? So people knew that this was happening on September the 1st. And, people that locked some profits in, I think we actually have seen some of that money flowing into the anticipation of the World Liberty coin. And that's my personal opinion. Do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But let's take a look at, what's happening with the dominance first in Bitcoin price, and then we'll kind of come back to Cronos. If you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance price, I'm sorry, not the price, dominance index, we actually have, come up to the 58.66% mark. Have seen a little bit of a downside since then, which is obviously nice to see. Bitcoin, on the other hand, as I said earlier in the update, we are sitting above $110,000 right now. As you can see, we actually came up to $110,600 to be exact. Kind of got stopped out because this was an all-time high, obviously, back. You can see this for yourself. We did have the all-time high literally right at the neckline of where we kind of got stopped out, and that's where we kind of saw a little bit of a rejection. But it's still very early, of course. We just past midnight here, depending on where you are around the world. We still have a lot of hours to see how things were to play out. But again, not out of the woods yet, unless of course we get back above 150. But now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening with Cronos. So where is the price of Cronos currently sitting at? 26.5 cents. And we do have some support, obviously, dating back to 2022. But let's take a closer look at Cronos, obviously, on the hourly time frame to really understand, what we're looking at. So Cronos saw this wick. You could see, we actually saw this wick up to 27 cents. But again, short-lived. Why did we see this 27 cents wick, you may ask? Because look at this big bounce that we're seeing within the Bitcoin price. Obviously, right now we're having a little bit of a hard time, breaking out into, the key range, specifically above the 31 cents key level. But, the 24-hour trading volume has, declined quite a bit. But obviously, like I said, the weekend, we're obviously coming out of the weekend, but nice consolidation still, still consolidating quite nicely within the 78.6 fib zone from that support line itself, which of course is playing as a resistance for us right now. We are down only about 16.5%, not bad in my opinion. And still holding at a 9 billion valuation. You need to understand, a lot of people have already forgotten. I know people need instant gratification. I know that's how we tend to think. We want to see instant profits and so on and so forth. But we need to understand the magnitude of this breakout first and foremost. This breakout was big itself. We broke out for the first time in 3 years, and let this thing breathe a little bit, guys. Like, I've been seeing some comments coming in, oh, the price is going down, this and that. What if I told you we should not even be looking at this retracement right now as a shocker, because number one, after having a big move like this, some people are going to lock in profits. Simple as that. If you're not going to be locking in profits, doesn't mean others and that are holding on to Cronos for a long time are not going to lock in profits. That's not how it works. There's people that are going to lock in profits, and that's something that's obviously out of our control. So since our yearly high, we have seen a retracement of about 31%, which is really, really good after having a pump from June levels of almost 400%. That's almost a 5x price gain, and yet people are still complaining. Look at BNB coin. Nothing happened overnight. BNB's sitting at these staggering valuations. It did not happen overnight. It takes time, and it's exact same thing is happening with Cronos. If you think it's going to happen overnight where you're going to be driving a Lamborghini, or if you think for sure you're going to be driving a Lamborghini, I like the way you think, but unfortunately that's not how life works, because if it was as easy as people make it seem like, I promise you we would see Lamborghinis be a norm and everyone would be driving Lamborghinis and living like a financial free life. That's not how it works. We need to look at it from a realistic standpoint. So right now, as far as the price is concerned, we're being supported by some key levels. Obviously, we do have some support around the 25.3 cents. If this key level does not hold, as of now, it has held for us, but that itself would be a move of about an additional 5%. I'm not saying, that will happen, but if we drop below that key support line, do be looking out for that key range, potentially even our neckline of the 78.6, which I think would be, not a bad thing, even if we were to see that itself is about a 9.5% move from where we currently are. Retest down to the 78.6 and then push back towards 31 could still be, that could still be a play out for us. But you want to be paying very close attention to Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin next few hours very critical. If Bitcoin is able to break above 115, I think that would be quite something, and I think Cronos will react in a positive way. But so far so good. Remember, 31% pullback from such a crazy move just from June levels. People have seen a crazy price action. I don't even think June. I think July. Apologies. Yeah, July. From literally July, you have seen crazy price action, and people tend to forget that, but we don't want to be forgetting this right now. So far so good. Obviously, if you are looking at your portfolio and you're losing sleep and you're panicking because that's money that you cannot afford to lose, then guess what? You're doing yourself a mistake for not locking in profits, because if you're overly invested, then that's the biggest flaw that you're doing already. That's number one wrong thing that you're doing already. Lock those profits in, take some off of the table if it's too much that you cannot afford to lose. One step at a time, of course. Have your exit strategies in place. Do not get greedy. I love you all. See you later. Been Crypto ZX, and peace out.